guys, so it's been a little while since I made a video, and there's a bit of a reason for that, which is exactly why I'm making this video today. Basically, I haven't been feeling very well. I've been having a lot of issues over the last couple months that have been things that I used to have issues with before I went vegan, and that completely went away and now have basically come back. And there's a lot of reasons for it. Basically, I've always had IBD, or irritable bowel disorder, which means that I've had a lot of issues with my digestion. I've had a lot of issues with bowel movements and stuff like that. And when I was a kid, it was mostly exacerbated by lactose intolerance, because I did still eat dairy on a fairly regular basis. I was a big dairy person when I was little, and then afterwards, when I went vegan, it helped a lot, and then when I went raw, it helped a little bit, and afterwards, when I started doing more of a raw till 4 McDougall style diet, as long as I didn't eat gluten, it was fine. But in the last couple months, it got worse. So basically what happened is that almost every time I would eat pretty much anything, my stomach would hurt. I would get massive bloating. I'd get a lot of pain, so like more pressure. It was bloating, but it was also pressurized, and then like a lot of fatigue and a lot of brain fog has been my biggest issue, especially with all the work that I'm doing and stuff like that. I just can't seem to focus very well. And I went to my doctor and I did a whole bunch of tests, and I mean, they weren't very helpful at all. The last one I went to was actually probably the worst. He basically told me that all my symptoms were normal and it was just gas, and that I would basically have to live with it and just continue eliminating more and more foods. But it's really gotten to the point where even having a smoothie, it was painful. So even going raw wasn't really an answer for me at this point. But it is something that I'm going to get back into. So basically what we came to the conclusion to is that I have something called small intestinal, no, sorry. It's called SIBO, so it's small intestine bacterial overgrowth. So basically what happened, and why I've been having so many issues, even with eating really healthy whole foods, which is what I do all the time, is that the bacteria in my gut has overgrown from my colon, where it's supposed to be, and it's a good place for it to be, into my small intestine. And on top of that, most of the bacteria that has grown is the bad bacteria that you don't want to keep in there. So it's kind of taken over a bit, and that's something that I really need to fix. So this is what I'm doing. One of the treatment plans, I mean, there was basically three options for me. So I was either, what the doctor recommended to do was two things, was either go on an antibiotic for 14 days, get tested again, and then see and go from there. Might have to do it again. And for me, I've only ever taken 1 dose of antibiotics in my entire life. And I'm really, really not interested in starting to do that, because you know what? Then it's just probably going to make things worse in my mind. And it was a last resort that I did really seriously consider for a while, because the other option was doing a herbal, basically antibiotic, antifungal, antibacterial, all that stuff, program, I guess you can call it. And for that one, I did consider it, but it takes about 6 months to get it, and I've already been in so much pain and gone through so much crap because of it. And to be honest, like, I make food for a living and I really enjoy food, and I haven't been able to do that in months. So the last one that the doctor suggested is something that's called an elemental diet, which the one that like doctors recommend is actually kind of iffy to me. They usually recommend a product called Vivanex by Nestle, which is obviously filled with crap ingredients, but this is basically what the protocol is. It's that because that bacteria feeds on good food, it feeds on fructose, it feeds on fiber, it feeds on nutrients and all that stuff. And I am anemic. I do have some issues with that right now, because the bacteria is basically eating all of it instead of me getting all the nutrients from the food that I'm eating, which is driving me insane. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. What I've started today is basically kind of like a water fast on steroids, but instead of steroids, it's glucose. So I basically am, I don't have one with me. So I basically am going to be consuming dextrose, which is a pure form of glucose, which is absorbed in the first little part of your small intestine. So I'm still going to be getting my carbohydrates. I'm still going to be getting calories. I'm not interested in doing a full water fast where you're, you know, calorie deficient and all this stuff when I don't need to. So I'm just doing this for 2 weeks with dextrose and a little bit of protein powder if I do get hungry, because then it'll keep me fuller and it doesn't feed the bacteria. And then I'm also going to be doing some teas, some herbal teas and stuff like that. Now, this isn't something that I recommend to people to do. This isn't a weight loss thing. This isn't, you know, one of those fad cleanses that people get on because they think that it'll help them in XYZ. This is an issue is if you have really bad digestion, if you have, you know, positive test results for this kind of stuff, if you're having all these issues, like I have a lot of water retention, it's definitely not something that's recommended to just do for fun. It's not a juice cleanse. It's not a herbal tea cleanse. It's not all these other things that you hear of that people are doing for health reasons and stuff. I really think that water fasts and even juice fasts are meant for healing purposes when you have health issues. Otherwise, your body can and does take care of itself. So that's my little disclaimer basically, but I am going to be making videos throughout it to, you know, help anyone who's having the same kinds of issues that I am and seeing how this is going to go. I'm still consuming between about 1,600 to 2,000 calories a day. I am going to be using some little flavorings and stuff like that. I got some stevia drops to make it so that I'm not just, you know, drinking sugar water all the time. So what I did this morning, the first thing is that what I'm going to probably continue doing, because it is really working for me, because I usually do lemon water. So I'm infusing some pure reverse osmosis alkalized water with just lemon rind, so organic lemon rind and ginger. So that's my morning drink with 3/4 cup of dextrose. And then I have another one right now that's infusing that has mint tea in it that I'm going to cool and then just put some dextrose in to consume. And I am going to be consuming a lot of water during the day. So I'm aiming for 3 to 4 liters, but if I get a little bit more than that, then that's even better. So like I said, my calories are going to be about 1,600 to 2,000 depending on the day and what I'm doing and what I need to do. But it's really nice that I actually still get to do stuff on a healing fast. And then what I'm going to be doing in the 3rd week, I'm going to be incorporating pure green juices with no fruit, which is not ideal for me because I love having fruit in it. But once the last week is done, I'm going to be going on to a food FODMAP diet, I think it's called. I don't know, FODMAP. And it's basically just low in all those things that ferment and cause the bad bacteria to grow and all that stuff. And then after that, I'm just going to be going back onto a full high carb, high raw vegan diet as I was before, because there's nothing wrong with that diet. That diet is not what's causing my issues. It's something that's been with me pretty much probably my entire life, and it's just gotten worse now because of a lot of stress, because of not enough exercise and sunlight and all that other stuff. And it's just made worse by the fact that I'm eating really healthy, which is totally goes against most of everything that you know about food and stuff. But you know what? If it works, it works. And it's just 3 weeks. So I'll probably be making videos about every couple days. I'll be making posts on Facebook, but on my personal Facebook. So if you do want to go follow me there, you can just go below. I'll make a link to my personal Facebook. I'll link sometimes on Plates for Plants as much as I can, but I do want to keep it a little bit more towards food and high carb and stuff like that, more so than on the healing side and personal stuff. So this is probably a bit of a long video, but that's okay. And if you guys want to keep following my journey, just give me a thumbs up, subscribe, up, down, wherever it is. And I'll let you guys know how I'm going. And just as a warning, most of these videos are going to be completely unedited and uncut. I want them to be raw. I want them to be personal. I want this to be like me as a human being talking to you guys and seeing if anyone else is having these same kinds of issues, and to let them explore what kind of options that they have to do it. So yeah, that's about it. So I will see you guys probably tomorrow, maybe the next day. Like I said, it'll probably be every couple days.